Ladies and gentlemen of Luca Nation's community.
Yes,
Kate's
to
looking at me, peering at me.
those
How about
three
you
of
kick
you,
it off?
those four of you ladies that are out there as part of Luca Nation. We have a couple of ladies who listen to us. Listen, Andrew needs me to do the intro because he's pouring himself a little glass of wine there. Is it red, white? We got some good stuff.
That's red.
You know, we were just talking about whether or not he should shave his entire head. We might have to have a bet, and I'll make him shave his head. You know, it's fun stuff. So yeah, listen, it's a Friday episode. It's gonna be a nice one. We got some plays for you today. No guests. Nobody taking up the airways. I get to just talk the whole time while Andrew drinks. And look, I got mail day today here. I can tell you about this stuff. We'll have to look at just envelopes of stuff here. We'll have to figure out. We'll have to ask Luca Nation can comment, send me some messages. When should I do a mail day opening? I don't know if I've ever done one of those, but I'm gonna have maybe early next week.
You buy a lot of cards off eBay?
These are all eBay purchases.
What did you buy? Like, has it been plays from the week? Like, what's in there? What are you most excited about?
It is 4 days after. I waited 4 days. I said 72 hours, but I waited 4 days. So that's why they're starting to come in today. My Kobe play. My Kobe gear play. Buy Kobe jersey cards, game worn, that stuff.
So you got it. So this is a fun one. This is a mail day where you have like the same type of card, but they're all going to be different. They're all different.
All different. Yep, all different. And there's some other stuff in there. Some other things that I buy. You never know. You open up. There's definitely 2 or 3 of that aren't Kobe. That are just like, oh, that's not a Kobe. Let me hide that before everybody knows what else I'm buying. I'm just kidding.
Something our Luca Nation members wanted you to not necessarily clarify on, but maybe add a little of your experience about. It's so the Dylan Carlson play that you gave from this week, right?
Yep.
And it's a baseball question in general. So baseball has a prospects card. So Dylan Carlson has a 2000 Bowman prospects card. Then he has a Topps update from 2021, 5 years later.
Yep.
Explain why you chose the Topps update and why.
So traditionally, and this could change, anything's subject to change, but traditionally, what people collect are the Bowman First Auto. So Bowman comes out with a Bowman First Auto card. And Topps is eventually the Topps rookie card, right? So you'll see, if you want to buy Mookie Betts, you buy his Bowman First Auto is the one that people go after, but you want to buy Mookie Betts, his Topps card or his Topps Chrome card is the rookie card without the auto on it. Now, Mookie has a first Bowman card also. He's also got a Prism card that we gave as a play, but they're not as sought after as the first Topps, at least not right now, right? So you'll notice there are Bowman cards for people that are not signed that have a rookie signal on. There's also Bowman cards that say first Bowman. A lot of times, my play today is actually a first Bowman. It's a first Bowman Chrome. So it's a good question to throw in there. But the only reason that I would tell you to buy a first Bowman is to have something to invest in someone until that first Topps card comes out. Because that first
You
Bowman.
hear that background noise, by the way? I don't mean to cut you off.
A little bit, but it's not.
Do you know what that is?
No.
So every time that goes by, I think of you. So there's this guy on like a little cart with a bicycle in the back, and there's a cart and there's like a tent on it. And they sell empanadas, tacos, and burritos. And when they ride by you, they're like $1 each. When they ride by your hotel, they honk.
Yeah. Well, listen, as long as they're followed by the Piragua cart, then we're all good.
Oh, what?
Piragua.
That's water?
Piragua. It's the shaved ice. Like the snow cones, but there's definitely carts in it. They're called Piragua.
So you're not like an enchilada, tacos, burritos. That's
no. I'll have that, but it's got to be followed up by a Piragua. It's got to be a shaved ice. With they put the syrup right on top and make it for you right there. It's got to be good stuff. But yeah, that's cool. Well, we did an episode where I don't jump until I hear the ice cream man, right? So yeah, I mean that's why you think about it.
That was back in 2020. How long ago that was?
Somebody's honking a horn. Obviously, I'm gonna go jump for the ice cream man. But so anyway, the Bowman Chrome. What I would tell you, that first Bowman card, that is something you buy until the Topps card comes out, until the Topps rookie card comes out. And this is just the way that the hobby kind of has gone. That's the way that the demand has gone for the cards. Nothing to say that doesn't change, but Dylan Carlson, yes, he has first Bowman cards and he's got Bowman autographs, but this year he has a Topps RC, with the rookie shield on it. In this year's Topps, I think it was card 285, if memory serves. You can check me on that. I can't look it up during these, otherwise I go blank. But I'm pretty sure it's 285. There's also like a short print version on it, where it's a
I'll look up the comps while
Dylan Carlson. Dylan Carlson. He's for the St. Louis Cardinals. It would be the 2021 Topps card. But yeah, so obviously that Topps card is one that's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle. People aren't sending them to PSA. People aren't sending this year's stuff to PSA right now because it's too expensive and they're closed. And there were other guys people were looking for. So, moving off of Dylan Carlson himself, traditionally speaking, the difference between the Bowman card and the Topps card is that the Topps rookie, that's normally in non-COVID years, that's normally the card that is produced after they've actually made it to the majors. The Bowman cards, that guy might never make the majors. And a lot of people have cards that never play in the majors. They're more of a prospect type of card, right? So it's like, think of it like, an XRC, Patrick Mahomes has an XRC redemption in Select that doesn't cost as much as the, like a draft card almost, right? With LeBron with the suit on instead of LeBron with his jersey on. It's the same type of thing, right? So the Bowman card is more akin to like an XRC. It's more akin to, a prospect card. The Topps card comes out after they've already played, which, by the way, is sometimes why you see a rookie card in their second year of playing. Like Yordan Alvarez last year in 2020 Topps, he was the rookie of the year before, but he didn't have a Topps card. They kind of sort those out. But Topps doesn't make a card of you.
What about a Topps debut? So Dylan Carlson has a 2020 Topps debut for the Memphis. Oh, this is for the Memphis Redbirds. Never mind.
But yeah, it's a pro debut card. And Joe Adell had a card, if you remember, in Update, but they specifically labeled it a prospect card. They didn't put his rookie card in because he didn't play. You know what I mean? So, it would have been nice if they would have put him in and put him in the update. But instead, he became a rookie this year. So, these are guys who are playing. They're guys who are, who have come up. And that becomes a rookie card. You really shouldn't have a Topps card until you actually play in the, in the league. And I think that's kind of what it is. I'm sure there are exceptions. If you go back, I remember buying a Topps Stadium Club card of Brian Taylor, who was a Yankees pitching prospect who just blew out his arm. That was 1993, maybe, Stadium Club. So yeah,
we've been around the block.
Yeah, man, I definitely have.
Page from the block. You're like Jenny from the block.
That's right. Take the 6 train. That's right, Jenny from the block. No, it doesn't matter about the rocks that I got, in my head. So I play. I'll just roll right into it, guys. Is a fun one because he's in the news today, and if people haven't heard of it, you can probably buy him, a little cheap. And there's time to buy this card, but it has come down significantly in the last couple of weeks because it's an out of sight, out of mind play. When baseball season started and people were starting to, run the card values up, you saw Tatis go up, you saw Vlad Guerrero go up, you saw Acuna go up and Soto go up. And those all made sense, right? And they kind of cooled off a little bit because, Tatis got hurt. Soto hasn't been, beating the world down. Even Acuna's cards are, they're kind of flat, even though he's been, crazy. Vlad Guerrero's cards are definitely up a little bit. But one of the cards that was being really run up, in early April, late March, was Jason Dominguez. And it's his Bowman Chrome first card. There are variants on it, right? There's a paper one. There's a Mojo one. There's all kinds of stuff. But, I'm just talking right now, the Chrome PSA 10, Jason Dominguez, basically first Bowman, the one that says first in the corner. There are no Topps cards of this kid because as I currently record this episode, even though his cards are crazy priced and he is thought of as like the next Mickey Mantle, the next Mike Trout, he's not had a professional at-bat. He's not actually had a professional. He was 16 years old. So news today was that he was being assigned to high A ball. So he's finally going to get some at bats. But here, what's funny,
this is what I'm reading the article. It's CBS Sports assigned aggressively to high A.
Because they could have put him in low A. They could have really slowed him. There are different levels of A. It's kind of like soccer. It's a little confusing. Only here we just call it the minor leagues. There they call it this is a real league, but it's not. So that that major leagues would be the Super League, and my favorite team, Barca, would be in it. So here's the fun, right? So this guy, in the beginning of the month, consecutively $350, $375, over $300 for that card, because when people were running baseball cards up, when people were running the prices of these things, he was a name. People were looking for Soto. People were looking for Acuna. People were looking for who's going to be a prospect, not realizing how young this kid was and how far away from the majors he really was, right? People were like, oh, when's Dominguez going to get called up? And I would answer, you mean to single A? You know, I mean, he's not getting called up this year. He's like 12 years old. That's not to say anything bad about him. He's going to be a fantastic player, I think. But he's not getting called up this year. He's getting aggressively promoted to high A ball. But the fun part about that is, if you look, he's now been out of sight, out of mind, right? Because while Acuna has been hitting the ball and Tatis has been hitting 5 home runs in a 3-game span and committing just as many errors, and while, you know, Vlad Guerrero's on a tear, Jason Dominguez is in the off-site facility. You know, he's doing who the heck knows what. And, you know, he's just give me 1 sec, man.
Chick-fil-A's arrived? Yes, the Chick-fil-A's here. All right. Well, while Cage is out here, I think he's getting mail order bride. I'm not sure. We'll get the presser from him later. We'll have a Cage backpack presser in a little bit.
It's more Kobe's. It's more. I sorry about that, guys. I had to run and had to get, you know, the
Cage had to pause.
Delivery.
He had to pause this episode to go and meet the driver, the UPS driver, for a $60 Kobe patch card. Unbelievable.
No, this one might be a PSA. This one might actually be graded, so I had to sign for it. So you never know what's in that mail day, guys. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, you know, I don't.
He's so happy.
I don't have to
We're on
drive
YouTube
to PSA
now.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Pan on the floor. Show him. It's like Christmas. He already opened a box of Optic.
Can you see this? See all this is? Can you see it? Am I doing a good enough job here? All these.
Cage. I was talking to my buddy today. Like I was like trying to kind of like think back. You know, it's been 9 months since we started our podcast, and I know you'll finish your play, but you started this. I'll finish it. And I was like, what makes us successful? You know, why did the hobby take to us? There's a ton of podcasts out there. Why us? And I think it's that right there on the floor. I think you're in it. I think people feel the authenticity. Like we're actually in it with them.
Look at my dining room table. My wife should murder me. Look at this. I'm sorting out my cards here. I got stacked. Come on now. Look at this. This is nuts. So there you go. It is what it is. But yes, I'm in
open
it.
Optic football, mail day for Cage. He opened baseball. He got a Luis Robert out of Gold Mojo. Back to your play.
Yeah, right here. So this is the year I was actually hunting for Dominguez, but we got Ian post fire. He got a Gold Mojo refractor Lubob.
What does he say on the last box?
He says last pack Mojo. When you pull it, he's pulled it out of the last pack. He says his last pack Mojo, and it actually was Mojo. It was Mojo refractor, and that was yesterday's fun. The color blast from the UFC box. That was pretty nice too.
The UFC cards weird me out. Like a guy in a Speedo flexing on this like white, colorful, shiny card just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, well, to each his own. It does it for me. So back to the play, right? So 350, 375, and this guy's been out of sight, out of mind. He's been in that, what I was about to say, like the off-site facility. The who the hell knows where he is? He could be home. He could be mopping floors at Chick-fil-A. I have no idea what he's doing right now, but he's not playing baseball, and no one is looking for him, which means the last auction that ended on this card yesterday, $206. $206. This is almost half of what it was coming into the season. You go back and just take a look at, early April auctions, 350, 375. This is just crazy. And it's not that he's done anything to warrant that drop, right? It's just the cards ran up a little bit too much, because people were expecting something we weren't going to get this year. But now they're kind of oversold. People were stacking these things. People were like, oh, Jason Dominguez, he's going to play this year. Kid's going to be great. They put him right up there with like Adley Rashman, who was just, the top draft pick of the Orioles. That's going to be like a real good player. But right now, I think if you find somebody who stacked these up, who graded them, who opened the stuff, you can get them under $200. Maybe in a Facebook deal like you like to talk about, Andrew. Off eBay, and you probably will be able to pick this guy up during this season because he's even playing in single A. That's the last headline you're going to hear of him. He's called up to A ball. You're not going to get headlines of Dominguez hits 2 home runs this week in A ball. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about A ball. But this is the time where I think you can stack that guy's cards up. So. It's funny, we started off with the Bowman Chrome. So
stacking Dominguez's.
Stacking Dominguez.
Stacking Dominguez. Okay. So where do you want me to go from here?
I don't know, man. There are so many different ways for you to go. You want to talk about Aaron Rodgers, trying to leave Green Bay. You want to talk about, there's this big secret in the hobby that nobody knows about that's going to happen on 5-5. I mean, Gary is supposed to be doing something. I don't know. I heard something about it. I don't know. You want to talk about that? Or let's see. What else?
I want to talk about the lack of adjustments that Coach Budholzer makes with the Milwaukee Bucks and why they will not have any success in the playoffs for the third year in a row.
I can't tell if you're making fun of him by calling him Coach Buttholzer. Is that what you just said? Could you call him Buttholzer?
Budholzer. Coach Bud.
Okay.
Coach Bud.
I wasn't. I think the listeners heard that one. All right, so talk about it. Talk about why it doesn't matter that you have Giannis, who might be the best player in the league, during the regular season. They're not going anywhere because of Coach Butthole.
I was upset. I'll be honest. I was really upset watching the Milwaukee Bucks lose to the Rockets yesterday. Sure, we'll give Kevin Porter Jr. his credit for putting up 50 points, but we're talking about Kevin Porter Jr. This guy's a G League player. Yes, I know he got sent down for disciplinary issues, but he's a G League, maybe a bottom of the barrel NBA player. I don't care if you guys out there are holding Kevin Porter Jr. cards and
wait. You don't like Kevin Porter Jr. now? I thought you said he was going to be a scoring leader and an MVP in 5 years.
You could send me more DMs than Cage got. Who is this retard?
Wait, I thought that was your play. Oh, wait, you were talking about Michael Porter Jr.? That changes the whole thing. I take back everything I said. Just kidding.
Here's the timeline of events. First minute of the game, Giannis twists his ankle. Okay? Yeah, this game goes on. I have 2 qualms with Coach Bud and with Drew Holiday, but it's going to be with Coach Bud mostly. Giannis goes off, right? Goes down with an ankle injury. And then you have Drew. How does it? So there's 2 things here, and I'm kind of in between thoughts. One, Bud can't run an offense, and he doesn't make adjustments. That whole game, they kept switching Brook Lopez onto Kevin Porter Jr. How many times is he going to score on Brook Lopez before you're going to realize you can't switch on him? Like, how many times? I know Milwaukee, and I said this about them last year. They live and die by letting teams make the 3-point shot, and they don't let people get into the paint. Okay, fine. But when a guy's going off on you, when are you going to make the adjustment? When are you going to say, we gave this guy Drew Holiday and Max Steele in the offseason? He's our lockdown defender. And you're going to give Kevin Porter Jr. 50 points on you? What's going to happen when the playoffs come?
Listen, you know what it shows me? It shows me that if you give somebody a chance, they'll score 50 points on you. It doesn't take much. I mean, look, Luka's out, just like Jamal Murray is out. Luka's out, and Tim Hardaway Jr. scored 42 points last night.
Yeah, but Tim Hardaway's significantly better than Kevin Porter Jr.
I'm just saying that, anybody in this league can score. Wait, Michael Porter Jr. has never done that. He's never scored 40. I'm sorry. I'm back to that. Sorry. I'm just going back to the well. I'm trolling everybody now. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm
I took a lot of heat for that.
You just have conversations that are interesting to Cage.
Well, listen. So here's the deal. First of all, Giannis better not be really hurt. Second of all, I think what you're saying is it's kind of what you've been saying all along, and it's proving me wrong. Is that the Bucks are not somebody who you really should be fearing in the playoffs because they're not coached well, they don't play team ball well, and they don't make adjustments. And there's only so much Giannis can do.
They don't make adjustments. And that's okay if your team is incredibly talented and you're like, we're just going to play the way we do, meet us where we are, or we're going to steamroll you. Fine. But that team isn't it. They're not that talented. And if you can't make adjustments, you're just not going to win. Like, you really aren't. And I've seen it time and time again. Coach Bud doesn't make adjustments on defense. He doesn't make adjustments on offense either. They run the same simple offense they ran 2 years ago. Giannis dribbles up the court. I've said this a few episodes ago. Does kind of this weird pick, drops it off to Chris Middleton or Drew Holiday, and they start their offense from this kind of like handoff pass. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And I'm sad because I like Giannis a lot. I just don't see this team going very far. And last night was like the epitome of, dude, this guy just does the same thing over and over again, hoping he gets a different result. And if you let Kevin Porter Jr. go off for 50, what's going to happen in the playoffs when you meet Kyrie or Kevin Durant or James Harden? We're just going to keep switching Brook Lopez onto James Harden? Are you high? I just don't get it. I don't get why they gave Drew Holiday that max.
Brook Lopez, he looks like he's high all the time, actually. So, but that's not what you mean.
No, it's. I just don't get it. Like, why did you give Drew Holiday the max deal if you're not going to put him and be the shot stopper? Like, isn't that like what did you see in this guy? If you're not going to unleash him and be like, yo, this guy's going off, go stop him.
I mean, listen, that backcourt clearly is not like a Lonzo-Bledsoe combo, which I know you love. That would be a better, I mean, it is what it is. Drew Holiday is not your guy. So what does that mean now? Talk about the East, because the top three in the East now, the Knicks are looking up at the Bucks and the Nets, right? And who else? Who else is in the top three? Nets, Bucks. Who am I forgetting?
Sixers.
Yeah, Sixers. Exactly, your team. So I mean, do they even belong in that conversation? Are the Sixers and the Nets now so far and head and shoulders above them that we shouldn't even be talking about the Bucks? Should people be selling their Giannis cards?
The thing is, the Bucks will beat the Sixers if they match up because the Sixers don't shoot the three that well. So, like, the Bucks live and die by letting teams shoot the three. And Danny Green or Seth Curry, I mean, they're good three-point shooters, but they're not going to be able to go off like that. So the Bucks are a tough matchup for the Sixers. But at the same time, like, there's eventually going to be a team. The Knicks might be that team. If you don't make adjustments and you play every team the same way, even though the other team has different personnel, eventually you're going to run into something. That's the point. So it really, basketball is a matchups game. People don't realize how much basketball is a matchups game, but I just don't see the Bucks getting out of the East, not because they're not talented enough. I just don't think that they're creative or adjustable or adaptable enough to go through and win 3 series, right? You have to win 3 different series. Can they get fortunate, and meet some really nice matchups? Like if they get the Sixers, the Hawks, and the Knicks somehow, they might go through those 2-3 teams. But they'll be really fortunate. I don't see that happening. I don't know who comes out of the East, Cage. Right now, I can't make a prediction. I think we need to see the seeds. Like last year, if you remember, when I made all my predictions, I knew who was facing who. Mm-hmm. And I think people underestimate how important matchups are in NBA. It's everything. It's so important.
So does this translate into a play? It's hey, if you're holding Giannis, sell him. If you're holding, I don't know who, Nick Claxton on the Nets, hang on to it because he might, show up in the playoffs. I mean, like, where do we go? Or should we just we were just spending 5 minutes talking about how poorly coached the Bucks were, which is perfectly fine.
Well, sometimes we go wide on different topics. We do episodes where we have like 15 different topics. Sometimes I want to go really deep on topics.
So what else we got? We got the Bucks. What else we got? What else? Well, come on, this.
I have my play, but we can talk about the NFL draft.
NFL draft. So it is the one day a year that I, as a Raider fan, know ahead of time that they are going to do something stupid, and every commentator is going to say, "Well, I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they did that," and I'm left being like, "What did they do?" And they did it last year with Cleveland Ferrell, and it's great when no matter when they pick in the first round, they get the same thing. They really could have got him later, and yesterday's pick, they had. Pick 17, pick 18, something like that. We were, mid first round where, I thought maybe they were going to take the quarterback that New England took. But, here we are with mid first round and you're like, all right, well, maybe they can take an offensive lineman, maybe they can build a defense, right? And basically, you have Mel Kiper and Todd McShay and all these guys, these experts, and they have the draft boards and they tell you about if they go defense, here's who they could take. Here's the 3 guys. They're all slotted here. They're great value picks. Here's if they go offense, here's the guy. But I don't think they're going to go offense. Maybe they will. It's kind of weird because they just got rid of their whole offensive line. They just blew it up. And they go offensive line. But it's not anybody who was like the next 5 offensive players. Like literally, like there were 5 people. And then they show a stat. And it's like the Raiders pick again at pick 46 tomorrow night. The player they just picked had a 60% chance to be available for their second pick, let alone the first pick. 30 picks later, he most likely still would have been available. He was not hot on anyone's board. And they're like, well, if they took John Gruden, they'd say, we don't care, we got our guy. But why not trade back? Why not? Everybody traded last night. People were trading in the division last night, but not the Raiders. The Raiders are always going to find a way to take a second round talent in the first round.
Just take our guy. Yeah. Instead of be creative and be like, how do we get our guy and also get more? Cage, we'll go right into my play. Name me some iconic moments in history. And I'll give you a more
Ford Theater. Abraham Lincoln shot in the head by John Wilkes Booth at Ford Theater. Presidential assassinations always come huge. The impeachment of Bill Clinton over Monica Lewinsky, the impeachment of Donald Trump.
Sports history.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just important moments in history. You said sports history. Let's see what else. Let's see sports history. Important moments in sports history. October 14th, 1976. Chris Chambliss hits a playoff home run in the ALCS. and advances the Yankees to the World Series, where they ultimately do not win the championship that year. I only know that because that's the day I was born. So it's pretty cool. There are a lot of Chris Chambliss baseballs autographed with my birthday on them. Yeah, I'm that old.
Before that,
audience.
before that in baseball, what are
So
their
the shot heard around the world is a biggie. Bobby Thompson. Babe Ruth calling his shot is always a huge one. That's it.
Ding, 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 like a little Tua Salamanca from Breaking Bad. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, hey,
So
Salamanca. Ding, ding, ding. I love it. You know I wear that Los Pollos Hermanos t-shirt every now and again. You ever see that? That's it. I love that
By
shot.
the way, Luca Nation, let us know. What's your favorite season of Breaking Bad? So my play, we were going back and forth with our producer. The reason I asked that question, I just rewatched Breaking Bad. That shot heard around the world, not the shot heard around the world, the Babe Ruth where the called shot, right, where he points.
Yep.
So it's along the lines of the tickets, right, the final ticket stubs, like the final ticket Kobe stub that I've given. So there's a Babe Ruth ticket stub. They're on eBay. It's an unbelievable. I think there's no other word to use. It's an artifact. If you think about it, 1932, Game 3. Full-proof ticket Babe Ruth called shot. How cool is that, Cage? That's pretty cool, right?
I'm gonna go buy it right now. I'm just kidding. Obviously, somebody can get this play. It's amazing. I mean, that's amazing stuff. Never would have thought it because it's funny. I always thought that was like half myth, half truth. Whether he really called his shot. I mean, obviously there was a game for it, but that's cool, man. And there's a lot of them available, or just one or two of them available. How?
There's not a lot, but there's not a few either. Like I would say probably 10, 12. I'm not sure, but here's how I would price them out. Kobe final ticket autos, final tickets, not autos, I apologize, are going for 1,000, 2,000. You're able to get these for a few thousand too. And I think it's worth taking a look at. This is a graded version as well. If you want to take a chance and buy a non-graded version, they're in the hundreds. But there's a graded PSA 6 that I'm seeing right now for a few $1,000 or
Wow.
best offer. And this is cool, right? It's just a piece of history. It's that simple. I can bring you guys so many different plays of different categories. This is on the higher side, a little bit over the pricier side.
By the
But
way,
I think it's very.
can I tell you why I love this? And I don't love all your plays. Obviously, I didn't like Michael Porter Jr. But you know what? I want to tell you why I like this. So somebody asked me today. I'm not gonna tell you who, but somebody asked me today, "Hey, what's the next card that's gonna 10x?" And I had to tell him. I had to say, I don't think anything's gonna 10x. Right? I mean, there are probably some prospects that no one's heard of. Maybe a soccer guy that comes out of nowhere and is the hero for somebody in the World Cup or Euros or whatever. I'm sure there's something that will 10x, but not. It's not going to be LeBron or Kobe. It's not going to be something like that. I said,
Right.
but there. I think we've already seen that run up, and it's kind of fool's gold to think that you're going to be able to get 10x or those type of returns in the market going forward. But I think where you will see steady, consistent returns are on those legends, those historic, the things that have moments, the things that have stories to them, the things that have, long-standing, multi-generational relevance. And that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be Babe Ruth. It could be Kobe. You know what I mean? It could be LeBron. It could be Michael Jordan. It could be those guys. It's those GOATs. But add in a wrinkle of a story for the specific moment you're buying, like that cold shot, or like Kobe's last game ticket. So not just Kobe, it's Kobe's last game ticket. Like those kind of things. I think those they're really safe investments with the potential to really grow. I love it. I really think it's a great idea. I think it's one of the areas that I'll focus my own personal collection on, those type of items, those type of moments as well.
And think about like the people listening to this. You grew up on Sandlot, right? They love doing that. They love pointing. Like that. Kids do that. They don't even know where that's from, and it's such a story. Then you get an iconic guy like Babe Ruth. It's cool, and especially if you like the Yankees, if you like Babe Ruth. Was he a Yankees or a Red Sox guy? He's a Yankee, right?
He was both. That's the curse of the Bambino. The Red Sox actually let him go to the Yankees. He got traded.
He just dominated.
And what's funny is he dominated for the Red Sox too. So he was Ohtani before there was Ohtani. I mean, if you look at his pitching stats were Hall of Fame pitching stats. He just didn't do it after he came into the Yankees and became a home run masher. They weren't pitching him anymore. He didn't need him to pitch. But yeah, I mean, check out his stats. He was actually an amazing pitcher, and he pitched and hit for the Red Sox. So yeah, that's one of those things, right? It's the curse of the Bambino.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys
he
have
was.
another awesome episode.
Well, we're having some fun. We're definitely having fun, guys. Listen, let us know what your thoughts are about my mail day. I want to open these for you. I've never done a mail day. Let me know when we should do this, at night, a weekday, whatever it is, and I'll open up a bunch of these packages. You take a look at these Kobe jersey cards that I'm just stockpiling. All right, guys. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.